I am Shayna, aka Shay, and this is my amazing husband, Edward.
31.
Oh Lord Jesus. And today, this is actually going to be a part video. So this is part one, and this is about marriage. This isn't about what you're supposed to do right and all this different type of stuff. This is more or less about the second time around, because there are a lot of people who have been married before and get married again. And
Three
people,
or 4 times.
I don't know anything about that, but me personally, people are very surprised to learn that I have been married before, especially so young, and then that, I'm on my second marriage, even though it's very common now to get married multiple times and, oh, I'm on my third marriage. So just want to talk a little bit about that, and it's going to be kind of an introductory.
Start getting into the third marriage. It's time to reevaluate some things in your life, just to let you know that.
It might be. See, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know. But just wanted to kind of talk about a couple things, give you a little background on me as it pertains to my first time around, on him as it pertains to his first time around, and just a couple of things about it, and then we'll build off of it, and we'll definitely be doing, like I said, multiple parts of this. If you're not a friend or family member, my basic background, I got married when I was 21. My birthday's in May. I got married August 5th. So I was barely 21. I mean, just able to buy liquor. Just able to do some things.
You probably didn't even have no liquor at your wedding, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
And by the way, I got married at my sister Marsha's house. That is a curse.
Wow.
Yes, it is. Everybody who has ever gotten married at my sister Marsha's house, she's had more than a few weddings.
About getting married up there at her house.
No, you weren't.
That was one of the options.
No, it wasn't.
I know.
Anyways, we have had more than a few family members get married or consider getting married at her house, and we're all divorced. So we have dubbed that house the curse. Now, she's been married for almost 20 years. They didn't get married there, though.
Amen.
So, got married in May. Turned 21 in May, got married in August. My then husband, he was 6 months older than me, so he had just turned 21 that previous December.
So he bought the alcohol.
Why would he buy the alcohol?
Because you weren't 21.
I was 21 by the time we got married. We didn't have to buy the alcohol 8 months in advance.
When you get married?
We got married in August.
In August. Okay. All right.
Anyways,
so... I couldn't even hold your liquor. Anyway.
Got married. We were married... legally we were married for some years, but we weren't actually together even half of that time. Yeah, he's a nice guy, makes somebody a wonderful husband. We were just too young. We didn't have any children. We didn't have any property or anything like that. The divorce wasn't messy, no issue. It just wasn't meant. At one point on both sides, we had both stepped out in our relationship, which is wrong any way you want to look at it. But we both felt that we were vindicated in doing so, or our decision was right to do so, because we weren't getting something out of the relationship that wasn't necessarily physical, emotional, mental, whatever, support, whatever it may be. And a lot of people feel that way. So like I said, this is my husband. We actually will be celebrating our 1-year anniversary.
Amen.
Next month on the 27th of May, 4 days before my birthday. And but we've been together for this December. It will be 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years. So
I'm getting picked on and bullied. No.
So But yeah, so he's going to give you some, kind of some insight, if you will, on his first time around and how that came about.
Well, I was 24 when I got married for the first time, and everything was new to me. The situation was a little bit, complicated than that because of certain circumstances and trying to do the right thing and just trying to be, a good person, a good man, and a good provider. Out of that marriage, I wound up having 3 children. I think we was fairly young. We didn't have a chance to get to know each other, get to grow. And I think that's one of the most important things about a marriage, and that's getting to understand and know each other and develop trust throughout your marriage and your relationship. And when you start to add life to a new beginning, it kind of changes things. It can change it in a negative way or a positive way, because then you can see the true colors of an individual as they come out, and that's for man and woman, and that's just my personal opinion. So the first time, the dating aspect of the marriage was okay. It was really cool. We was young, spontaneous, and we just just had fun, but we didn't know the surrealness of being in a committed marriage, especially being so young, and the responsibility that need to be upheld within that marriage. And for the divorce factor of it, it's a different ball game when you have property and kids and different things like that involved.
We ain't had nothing.
And it's rough, man.
Learned from my first marriage is, so to be honest, both him and I were not completely dedicated and committed to the marriage at one point or another, which basically means that both of us at one point in time stepped out because we were unhappy, because we didn't know how to communicate, because we were trying to hurt the other person. So
not on our marriage.
Not in our marriage. No.
The first marriage. Let that
No. So what I learned from my first marriage is communication definitely is key. It sounds cliche,
yes,
but it is definitely key. Mm-hmm. I'm not the most perfect communicator.
Hey. It's on camera now.
I am not the most perfect communicator, but there has been leaps and bounds of improvements from that marriage to this one. And then even from the point when him and I first started dating until now. Now, he can honestly answer that better than me, because of course your self-evaluation, but
and then you know what, also with the communication, that is one of the X factors in growth in a relationship. You definitely gotta have communication is key. And I tell people that all the time. If you can't communicate with somebody, you're in big trouble, especially if you gotta lay down with them every night and wake up to them every morning. Communication is one of the number one most important thing in any marriage or any relationship, and that's something that I lack on my behalf because of my upbringing, because the men in my family are providers, and I know my father gonna probably look at this one day, but and probably soon, but that's I feel like one of the good but negative traits that he taught me and my brother was, hey, keep providing, and things will get better. And if it's either your way or the highway, because you're the breadwinner in the family, And that was the type of mentality that I had wound up taking to my previous marriage and almost rolled over into the marriage now. Until I had to realize that, communication is key, and just because you're providing for your family doesn't mean that you have the right to just, force your opinion and your belief on them. Everybody's entitled to believing what they want to believe, saying what they want to say, and so on. And it's my responsibility to listen, because I was a terrible listener. And my wife beat it in me now. Oh, Lord. No, I'm just joking. but no, I listen a lot now, That's from time and growth,
So communication, again, one of the biggest things that I learned. Also, for me personally, not being
being the dominant one in your what was that? Don't speak your mind, Sister McKinney. Speak your mind. Tell the truth.
One of the things I also learned, which I've grown from, it's not completely out of my system, but I've grown to come out of it a lot, is to not react so quickly, as well as not trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for, or spiteful. Sometimes you gotta let people, got on their own, and it'll be better than what you even anticipate, and you ain't got to worry about it coming back and biting you on the butt as well.
You remember that time that you call yourself not communicating with me?
Don't believe anything of what you're hearing from this point on.
No, tell the truth. Do you remember that time when you was like, when you made up in your mind that you weren't going to communicate with me, and I was trying to reach out and have a conversation with you a couple of times? Now, granted, I didn't try hard, but at that point,
that is a good point. I don't know what you're talking about specifically now. What happened?
The time when you thought we was breaking up, how many years ago that was? And you went on a whole 30-minute spiel of how you felt and different things that was going on, and then you asked me, why you're not communicating, or basically why you want to break up. And I told you, I don't want to break up. I'm just not saying anything to you because you're not saying nothing back. You remember that?
Maturity at its best.
Yeah, it was maturity though, but
that was maturity?
It was, because, the reason why I said
that was not mature.
It was mature, because sometimes
that was immature.
No,
you're missing
excuse
me, not immature. That's a singing
because
group.
Sometimes
that was immature.
Immature, but
that was immature. You doing something because I'm doing something.
No. It wasn't. I was intentionally. I wasn't.
Yeah,
you was intentionally doing it.
I remember that. You did something that I didn't care for.
Yeah.
And I decided, okay, you know what? I don't have anything nice to say to you without it being real ugly and inappropriate. So I decided
did I try to reach out
not
and communicate
speak with you. What you did was you would try to start conversations out of nowhere about nothing, like, hey, did the mail come? It's right there. Yeah. Man, you see this coupon for 25 cents off of grape soda? I'd be like,
roll your eyes and keep walking.
Yes, because you were trying to originate a conversation out of nothing. Whereas if you really wanted to communicate, in my opinion, if you really wanted to communicate about the issue that was going on, you'd have been like, look, let me sit down and talk to you. But
communicating, grabbing beneath someone's feet and begging, please, baby, forgive me, all this other. I felt like that I didn't do anything wrong at that time.
You don't?
For you to be that.
You don't?
For you to be that upset where you're not, that you would not be able to communicate with me. And that's the part that I was like, whoa, hold on now. This is a flashback from, my first marriage, and you know, and I was like blown because I'm like, I don't want, I don't want to step back into that box. And so, I just fell back.
That's understandable. But you also have to admit, although I was wrong for dragging that out for an extended period of time, you have to admit that your version of trying to communicate by starting a conversation has nothing to do with what we were going through. That was a horrible attempt at trying to communicate. You knew at the time what the issue was. You knew why I was upset. So if that's the case and you wanted to talk about it because you knew eventually if I would have, hooked my wagon on to that little carriage of a conversation you were trying to start, that it would have eventually gotten there. So why not just start there?
Well,
I don't ever, and I have never, not to my knowledge, I have never, not to my knowledge, and you can tell me if I am wrong.
I'm ready.
I have not tried to originate a conversation out of left field about something when I was upset. When I come to you and when I'm ready to talk to you about it, we jump off of the platform.
Then we talk about it.
Well, I jump off of the platform on it. I don't be like, man, I sure do want some Raisin Bran. I don't do that. I'll be like, look, you pissed me off. Look, you did this, and that. Look, what the hell's your problem? Type of deal.
No, you have got a lot better. And, it's still in you. It's still in you when you get, all, I guess, pissed off and you just want to, you don't say anything. So you still do, but you have got a lot better. And see, my thing is
I don't try to stump anybody out.
My thing is this right here. My thing is this, once again, communication is key.
It is. Okay, so you're right. That was the main purpose of this. Communication. I learned communication is key. Number 2, not to be vengeful or spiteful. Or to calm a lot of that down, because I'm not going to say I'm completely out of it and over it, but I have calmed it down a lot.
Yes.
So my question to you, that was for me. What did you learn in your first marriage? What would be the 2 key components of things that you took away from your first marriage?
That I learned, like I said, number one will be communication. That's one thing. That's something that I had lacked. And that was like, it's the worst feeling in the world to, like I said, lay with somebody and wake up next to somebody and you're not able to communicate and express yourself. That is terrible. The second thing I would say, making sure that my spouse and I are on the same page when it comes to the growth of our family. Because that is, if you thinking about the situation, like right now, even with my ex-wife, we're still not on the same page on the growth of our children. My thing is this: do not do that. Do not roll your eyes.
I didn't roll my eyes.
You already know what I'm going through.
I did like this.
I pray to God and He give me strength, and only thing I can do is try to reach out and communicate between her and my daughters now. But like, say for instance, my daughters now are very, very intelligent young ladies. All 3 of them on the honor roll. I am very active in their life. They in the band, and they outstanding musicians. And I try to focus on education. Education is key, because with that, nobody can take your education away. You can, that is key, pretty much, And on the other hand, when moms, stresses other things like such as, military or this and that, and I got all respect for the military. I have a lot of military individuals in my family. One from my sports injury in college, I was planning to join the military, you know. And I don't take anything away from my vets or veterans or active duty members. But on the same token, I have a lot of military family members, and they always stress to me, look, go and get your education. Because once you get in the military, it's military business first. Your education is second. So that was my mindset and my understanding. So I just tried to stress to her that, hey, get on top of their education. Let's focus on scholarships. They very intelligent girls, magicians. We saving money for them. You saving it on your end. I'm saving on my end. What is the problem? But greed sometimes can be the problem.
Well,
so
all right. So those are the two things. At any point, I mean, I know little boys, I know men, young men, boys, however you want to put it. It's not instilled in them to dream about marriage or to, man, I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to have a wife. Not like it is with girls. With girls, it's kind of, even in, cartoons and movies and stuff, it's just kind of instilled into you to, oh, you should want to get married, you should want to have babies and have a husband and have a big house and a nice car and nice things and this and that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, even though there were some circumstances surrounding the first time you got married, did that, and how, if so, did that, change your outlook on being married again, if ever? Because sometimes some people will be like, nah, I'm not doing this again. This was too much. I don't want to do it.
You know what? I was asked that question when I had separated, from my ex-wife, and my response was, I'm not finna take the bad experience from that marriage and never say that I wouldn't get married again, because you don't know what you don't know what life has in store for you. Everybody, it's not religious like that, but you don't know what life has in store for you, or what things that you can be blocking and what doors that you could be closing because you taking one bad experience and putting it out in the universe as if all of your life experience is going to be like that in a marriage or in a relationship. And I vowed to myself that I would not base any future relationship or marriage on the experience that I had with my previous marriage. So I made that vow to myself. So in order for you to make that work, like they say, the second time is the best time around. And sometimes, I
ain't know they say that, but
I done heard that plenty of times from successful second time around marriage couple. But you rather for it to be the best time the first time around. But regardless of what, you're gonna have your trials and tribulations through anything, just in a relationship, anything. It's up to you as the individual to continue to grow and understand where is your breaking point, to me. And that's why I didn't understand. I didn't understand my breaking point. I let every little thing get to me that was said, And now, I just feel like that, especially for young men, like you were saying earlier, like women, young girls, are you going to get a husband and you're going to get
we're
married,
essentially, in my opinion, groomed about that, where men aren't.
Groomed. Now, vice versa, like with young boys, and we had this conversation before, and society, the way it is, like especially where I grew up at and the community I grew up in, he's so handsome. He gonna be a player. The ladies gonna be falling at his feet. Girl, they gonna be beating down his door. He's so cute. And it's just the mindset and the things that, like you said, we instill in our children. We don't have to be like, oh, you're gonna be a good husband and be a good person and this and that and that, or you're gonna be a player. You just gonna be a good individual, you know. And don't accept nothing. Like one man told me, don't accept no wooden nickels and don't suck no wooden tits. Oh, excuse me. Can I say that on there? Anyway.
So,
I had a question for you.
Lord. Okay.
So what is the difference between your first marriage and your second marriage? And what's the difference between your first marriage and second marriage? And also, how does it feel to be married to a man with kids?
Well, there are a lot of differences between my first and second marriage. And first, the mindset. Your mindset at 21 versus your mindset at, 34 is, hopefully, they are on two opposite ends of the spectrum in a good way. So that's that. Also, the person that I'm married to, my ex-husband wasn't a horrible person. We didn't have physical altercations. We had a couple of verbal altercations, if you will, arguments that I would say got emotionally and verbally out of control, but never nothing, never got physical like that. But I have someone, the people are different in good ways. I think my overall goal and desire out of marriage in life has always been the same, but how I get there is totally different. Knowing that it's a team effort is definitely a contributing factor. It's just a lot of little things that make a big picture, but I would have to say those are the bigger parts of it. Being married to and or dating, being in a relationship with someone who has children and you do not, is difficult, which is a topic that we are going to discuss. It's going to be a whole nother video because that is a whole nother, that's a whole nother topic to kind of go over. And that can be from a man dating a woman who doesn't have kids to, vice versa, a woman dating a man who doesn't have kids.
Yeah, that is a whole different conversation.
It's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different ball game.
Yes, it is.
And
on both ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do have a lot to say about that.
It's different.
Stay
but
tuned.
I mean, when you care about somebody, you have to look at you have to look at the whole picture. I hate to hear people be like, oh, I had to accept his kids. I mean, in a way, or accept that person's kids. In a way, you do. But we'll go into detail about that at another time because that can be a whole nother topic. But overall, and I'll answer after you. How do you feel, not going into it because obviously the circumstances were different, but how do you feel overall from your first marriage to your second?
Overall, I feel like that God blessed me. Like I said, everybody, God blessed me the second time around. And, and I just feel so blessed and honored because I'm not just saying this, but communication is key. Even though, sometimes, you can say some stuff to be kind of spiteful.
You sure?
We can say things to be a little spiteful, but when you can tell when somebody loves you unconditionally, and that's a good feeling. And for me to experience that on a second marriage, but for the first time, it's a beautiful thing, because that's what we all looking for. We looking for unconditional love.
That's right. Well, for me, I just feel that there's a level of maturity, that I have personally experienced, and that growth has allowed me to, find someone, or not even find someone, because I didn't find you. That's another video, because the story of how we met is pretty damn funny.
It is. It's really funny. But
one of your friends might not want to watch that, because...
Hey, man, look, we're going to have to use anonymous names.
We can use anonymous names, but
we're going to have to use different states.
What? Everybody knows where I'm from. And they know where I'm living, so that's not possible. We'll use pseudonames.
I'm gonna have to use my stunt double for that one, okay?
Oh no, won't be no stunt doubling around here.
Yeah,
your friend
bring in another character.
Oh no, your friend. You can tell it in whatever version of person you want to, but the truth, look,
we're going to have to delete.
Truth don't need no proof. India Irie said it best. The truth don't need no proof.
We're going to have to delete YouTube off his phone. That's what we're going
to do. That ain't got nothing. Please. Please. Anyways, I think there was just maturity. Being raised by a single mom, not having a lot, having some, but not having a consistent and a lot of male figures, father-like figures in my life, being raised by a single woman. Sometimes you can get that independent woman thing a little bit too much, and because you hear that because you hear that, oh, well, I'm the daddy and I'm this and that. It doesn't sound like much when you hear it, but subconsciously you pick it up and you start to do things, and you have to realize. Really?
I'm sorry. I don't need no man to take care of me. I am your husband. This is my job.
Quiet. So I would say that is the biggest thing.
That's my native language coming out. No.
Thank you, T'Challa. Thank you.
No disrespect.
Thank you.
No disrespect.
Thank you. So, but yeah, I hope you all got some simple insight out of this video. Again, there's going to be several parts talking about different things, communication, expectations, and these are things I personally feel like you need to talk and discuss before you get married. There's no purpose of getting married and then sitting down and saying, okay, how many kids do you want? Okay. What do you expect of me as your wife? Okay. I want to buy a townhouse. You want to buy a house. Oh, I want to live in state. I want to move to Peru. Like, there's some things that need to be discussed, and some need to be on the same page about a lot of things before you say I do. Mm-hmm. So in a series of these videos, we'll be discussing a lot of different things. So,
yeah. And I know this is my first video. I'm not really looking at the camera like that, but my wife is so fine.
No,
I can't keep my eyes off of her
because he's not looking at me. And he's looking at Deadpool.
No,
on
I'm
TV.
not looking at Deadpool. And you can look at the camera. Rewind everything.
I've been looking at you.
And you're so fine. And then every time you talk, it's just, inspiring me. And I can't keep my eyes off you, so I got to get used to it. Maybe I need to do my video in another room.
Ooh, Chile. Okay. Ooh, child, don't do it. Don't do it. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything, please leave it below. Also, again, this is going to be a multi-part or multi-series, if you will, as it pertains to the topic of marriage and different things. And we'll be going
I got
into...
a really good topic.
We'll discuss that later.
I know we'll discuss it later,
Okay.
but I think the people will like it.
Okay.
Because this is a question that's being talked about every day.
Okay. Thank
Hold on, that's my vote for me.
Okay. Thank you, Nixon. So, but yeah, if you have any suggestions as it pertains to any topics you want us to go over, I particularly am not shy about talking about certain things. You know, my topics won't be, I'm not scared away from too many things, as my friends will tell you. But thank you so much for watching. Child, please.
You roll your eyes on me in front of these people.
No. So thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Again, leave the comments below, subscribe, and have a wonderful, wonderful day, weekend, night, evening, whatever that is for you. Thanks for visiting Life of a Brown Girl. Bye.
Bye-bye.